My dear children, welcome to my second session of E-class Samveda, chapter 11, Cell Structure and Functions. I hope you are all getting ready with writing materials like notepad, pen, etc. Children, in this session, we will going to discuss about the cell structure and function, parts of the cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, and finally comparison of plant cell and also animal cells. First of all, let us start with cell structure and function. As we all know that in case of almost all living organisms, many organs together constitute the organ system. For example, presence of digestive system in case of human beings. Here each organ present in case of the digestive system perform different functions such as digestion, assimilation and absorption. Digestion is nothing but it is the process of conversion of complex food materials into simple forms. Assimilation is the conversion of digested food materials into cytoplasm of the cell, and finally the digested food materials it is being absorbed by the villi is present in case of the small intestine. Similarly, even in case of plants also, different organs they will going to perform specific functions or specialized functions. For example, you can observe here the roots present in case of the plants which are helps in the absorption of water and also mineral salts from the
Even in
soil.
plants also, different organs perform different functions. For example, leaves absorbs sunlight during the time of photosynthesis and roots helps in the absorption of water and mineral salts.
We can extend our concept here, students. Likewise, stem supports the twigs, branches and also flowers, etc. The flower present in case of the angiosperm plant, it is specially meant for the process that is known as the sexual reproduction. Similarly, the leaves which are present in case of the green plants are responsible for the process that is known as the photosynthesis. As you people you know that during the time of the photosynthesis, green plants they used to prepare their own food material.
Photosynthesis is most remarkable process in case of green plants. During photosynthesis, plants absorb solar energy and water and also absorbs carbon dioxide through the stomata present in case of the leaves. In the presence of chlorophyll pigment, by the utilization of solar energy, water and also carbon dioxide, plants prepare their own food materials in the form of carbohydrates and oxygen is the byproduct.
Apart from that, let us move on to the next concept that is known as the parts of the cell. My dear children, the cell it is basically made up of there are three important components, namely first one is the cell membrane, then second one will be there that is the cytoplasm and last one is nucleus. The cytoplasm and nucleus which are present inside the cell are enclosed by means of the membrane that is known as the cell membrane. The cell membrane it is also called as the plasma membrane and it will going to separate the cells from one another and also the separation of the cell from the surrounding medium. Plasma membranes, my dear students, plasma membrane is porous in nature. That means it is made up of many more small pores which are helps in the inward as well as the outward movement of the substances. That is why that the plasma membrane is called as the semi-permeable membrane.
Plasma membrane is porous in nature. That means it possesses many more number of small pores Thus, it allows the movement of substances both inward and outward. Hence, the plasma membrane is also called semi-permeable membrane.
Semi-permeable membrane, it's a membrane, it allows the movement of substances inwards as well as the outwards. What you people you can observe here, this is the cells of onion peel. In the cells of the onion peel, then there will be a presence of the outermost boundary, and that outermost boundary is known as the cell membrane. The cell membrane is which in turn covered by means of one more thick membrane, that is the cell wall. In the center of the onion cells, presence of the dense body called nucleus. The jelly like substance present between the nucleus and also cell membrane is known as the cytoplasm. The cell membrane present in case of the cells, it will going to give shapes to the cell. In addition to the cell membrane, there will be a presence of the thick membrane, particularly in case of the plant cells, and that thick membrane is known as the cell wall. And these additional cell wall required for the plants for the protection against variations in case of the temperature, high wind velocity, and also atmospheric moisture content, etc. My dear students, I would like to suggest few plants name for the easy observation of cells. Then you people you can observe here, this is the plant of Tradescantia. In addition to Tradescantia, we can easily observe the cells from the plant like Elodia, Rhodiscalaris, etc. Dear students, we will extend our concept with the cytoplasm. As we are all discussed earlier, cytoplasm is a jelly like substance present in between the cell membrane and also nucleus. Inside that cytoplasm, then there will be a presence of the many more components. We can call such a components as the cellular organelles. The different kinds of cellular organelles which are present in case of the cell, that is the mitochondria. You heard about that mitochondria in your earlier classes. Mitochondria is considered as the powerhouse of the cell, since it is involved in the synthesizing of the energy that is known as the ATP. ATP is abbreviated as adenosine triphosphate. In addition to mitochondria, then there will be a presence of the Golgi complex and ribosomes. Ribosomes, you know that ribosomes are considered as the protein factories of the cells, because that ribosomes are associated with the phenomenon that is known as the protein synthesis. Next one, we will move on to the one more concept that is known as the nucleus. And you people you know that nucleus is the one of the most important component of almost all living cell. And this nucleus, it is generally spherical in nature and it is located in the center of the cell. Then this nucleus, it can be stained. I mean to say, when we will going to put some color in case of the laboratory, then after that coloring we can able to observe that nucleus in case of the laboratory by the help of the magnifying instrument that is known as the microscope. So outside the nucleus, it is protected by means of the membrane that is known as the nuclear membrane, and that nuclear membrane present in case of the nucleus, it will going to separate nucleus from the cytoplasm. Then nuclear membrane, it is also porous, that means it is made up of pores, and the presence of pores in case of the nuclear membrane, it allows the movement of materials between the cytoplasm and also nucleus and vice versa. Then when we will going to observe the nucleus under higher magnifying microscope, there will be a presence of smaller and also spherical body inside the nucleus, and that small spherical body is considered as the nucleolus. Inside the nucleus, then there will be a presence of the thread-like structures that is known as the chromosomes. On the surface of the chromosomes, the genes are linearly arranged, and they used to transmit from one generation to another generation during the time of the reproduction. Since that chromosomes are helps in the transmission of the genetical characters from one generation to another generation, that chromosomes are considered as the hereditary vehicles.
Cell is the structural and functional unit of living organisms. Nucleus is present inside the cell within which chromosomes are present. Genes are linearly arranged on chromosomes and control the biological characteristic features of living organisms. These genes are transmit from one generation to another generation during reproduction.
Chromosome contains genes, and genes helps in the inheritance of the characters from parents to their offsprings. That is why that chromosomes are considered as the hereditary vehicles. And one more thing, please you understand, we can able to see in chromosomes only during the time of cell division. My dear students, in addition to the heredity, nucleus it is acts as a controlling center for almost all activities. You people you know that many more biochemical reactions which are taking place inside the cell. For example, photosynthesis in case of the plants, and process of digestion, respiration, excretion, protein synthesis, etc. These are all the biochemical activities which are takes place inside the cell, and almost all these biochemical activities being controlled by means of the nucleus only. That is why that the nucleus is considered as the controlling center for almost all cellular activities. All the components of the cells are collectively called as the protoplasm. You know that in case of the cell, then there will be a presence of the jelly component that is known as the cytoplasm. Inside that jelly component there will be a nucleus is present, and both cytoplasm and also nucleus are considered as the protoplasm, and protoplasm is considered as the living component. Then here you people you are observing the bacterial cell. The bacterial cell, you know, it is not well organized cell like that of the cells which are present in case of the multicellular organisms. I mean to say, the nucleus present inside the bacteria, it is not protected by means of the nuclear membrane like that of the cells which are present in case of multicellular organisms. That means the genetical material of the bacterial cell, it is simply scattered inside the cytoplasm, hence the bacterial nucleus is considered as the nucleoid. Here the cell without a true nucleus in the sense that nucleus is not protected by means of the nuclear membrane, and such a nucleus is considered as the prokaryotic cell. Then the organisms which contain the prokaryotic cells are considered as the prokaryotic organisms. Best example for prokaryotic organisms is bacteria, and here you people you can observe here that is the blue green algae. Here that nucleus is not protected by means of the nuclear membrane. That is why these kinds of organisms are considered as the prokaryotic organisms. We will extend our concept. We will move on to the eukaryotic organisms. We can understand the eukaryotic organisms and also eukaryotic cell by collecting the cells from onion and also cheek. When we are going to observe the cells of onion and also cheek under the microscope, nucleus is protected by means of the nuclear membrane. Then such a nucleus is considered as the well organized nucleus, and that well organized nucleus is the eukaryotic nucleus. The cell containing eukaryotic nucleus is known as the eukaryotic cell, and the organisms containing the eukaryotic cells are known as the eukaryotic organisms. Then almost all advanced organisms, what you people you can observe are all the eukaryotic organisms. While we will going to observe the onion cells under the microscope, we can find a blank cavity at the center of the cell is known as the vacuole, and this vacuole it could be single and big in size. That vacuole is protected by means of the membrane that is known as the tonoplast, within which there will be a presence of the watery component or any other chemical substances. Here you people you can observe the cells of the cheek. When we will going to compare the cells of cheek with that of the onion, in case of onion there will be a presence of the single vacuole, but here in case of the cheek cells there will be a presence of many more vacuoles. Then what do you people you can understand by observing the cells of onion and also cheek? In case of onion cell, each onion cell having centrally situated large sized vacuole, whereas in case of the cheek cells that many more number of small vacuoles are present. That means that plant cell it is containing a single large vacuole and animal cell contains many more small vacuoles. Here you people you can observe here, this is the plant cell and this plant cell it is containing a single large vacuole. When we will going to observe the leaves of Tradescantia or any other green plants, there will be a presence of several colored bodies inside the cytoplasm, and those colored bodies are considered as the plastids. Plastids are simply scattered inside the cytoplasm of the cell, and plastids containing green pigments known as the chlorophyll. The green colored plastids are chloroplast. Usually they used to provide green coloration to the leaves or young stems, and these structures participate in the process that is known as the photosynthesis. As you people you know that during the time of the photosynthesis, plants absorbs water and also mineral salts from the soil, and chloroplast present in case of the leaves they used to trap the sunlight. In the presence of chlorophyll pigment, by using that inorganic substances, plants they prepare their own food materials, and the process is known as the photosynthesis. My dear students, we will going to compare that plant cell with that of the animal cell. Then here you people you can observing that plant cell, and this one is the animal cell, and finally we will going to compare the parts of a plant cell as well as the animal cell. That cell membrane, it is a membrane, living membrane, which is present in case of the both plant cell as well as in case of the animal cell. And you come to the second one, cell wall. As you people you know that cell wall it is present only in case of the plant cell, and cell wall is absent in case of the animal cell. What I mean to say is that cell wall it is protected by means of both cell wall as well as the cell membrane, but that animal cell it is protected by means of only cell membrane, and cell wall is absent in case of the animal cell. And as you people know that next characteristic feature, that nucleus is present in case of both plant cell as well as in case of the animal cell, and the nuclear membrane is also present in case of both plant cell as well as in case of animal cell, because both plant and also animal cells are considered as the eukaryotic cells. And come to the next one, that cytoplasm. Cytoplasm it is the jelly component present in case of the both plant cell as well as in case of the animal cell. And plastids are present only in case of the plant cell but absent in case of the animal cell. You know that plastids present in case of the plants which are take part in the process that is known as the photosynthesis. That is why that plants are considered as the autotrophic organisms. Animals they are unable to prepare their own food materials like that of the plastids. That is why that animals are considered as the heterotrophic in nutrition. And come to the vacuoles, you people you know that vacuole, that single vacuole present in case of the plant cell, and many more vacuoles are present in case of the animal cell. My dear students, this is the time to recapitulation. Then we will going to understand the concept what we studied till now. By knowing answer to the different questions, we will going to recall the concept. Your first question is like this: cell without nuclear membrane in its nucleus is. What you can call the cell? Then there is no presence of nuclear membrane in its nucleus. Here there are 4 options are given. That first one is the eukaryotic cell, and second one is the prokaryotic cell, third one is the plant cell, and fourth one is the animal cell. Then I hope you people you are marking the right answer. Which one is the right answer here? Yes, that the prokaryotic cell is the right answer here. The cell containing that nucleus without nuclear membrane are considered as the prokaryotic cell. The cell it is containing nucleus which is surrounded by means of the nuclear membrane are considered as the eukaryotic cell. And second question is like this: identify the master controller of a cell. Here also there are 4 options are given. That first one is the ribosomes, second one is the Golgi complex, and third one is there that is the chloroplast, and fourth one is the nucleus. Then which one is the master controller of the cell? Then your right answer is appearing now. Yes, look at there, that right answer is the nucleus. As we all know that the nucleus present in case of the cell, it will going to control the almost all biochemical activities which are taking place inside the cell. That is why that the nucleus is considered as the master controller. And next question is like this: identify the living component of the cell. Then out of the 4 options given here, that first one is the cell wall, and second one will be there that is the vacuole, and third one is the protoplasm, and last one is the cytoplasm. Out of all these 4 options, then which one is the correct answer? I hope you people are marking correct answer. That your correct answer is, yes, protoplasm is the correct answer. I told you that inside the cell then there will be presence of cytoplasm and also nucleus. Both cytoplasm and also nucleus are together considered as the protoplasm, and the protoplasm is the living component of the cell. And your fourth question is like this: name the pigment that gives green color to the leaves. Here also that 4 different options are given. That first one is the chloroplast, second one will be the chromoplast, and third one is the xanthophylls, and last one is carotenoids. Then which one is the right answer? Yes, chloroplast is the right answer, and it will going to give green coloration to the leaves, and it is take part in the process that is known as the photosynthesis. And we will go through the last question: which cell has the highest number of vacuoles? Animal cell, plant cell, neuron, and last one is the muscle cell. Then which one is the correct answer, dear children? Yes, animal cell is the correct answer. Animal cell, it is containing many more number of small sized vacuoles, but whereas in case of the plant cell there will be a presence of single central large vacuole. Dear students, this is the time to suggest activities to you people. Your first activity is like this: with the help of your science teacher, remove the pink coverings of onion, place them on a glass slide with a drop of water, add a drop of methylene blue solution to it and cover with the cover slips. Observe the cells and its components with the help of the microscope and draw the diagram of same and label the parts. This is your first activity.
Dear students, let us understand how to observe the cells of onion peel. For this activity, you peel out the thin inner epidermal layer of onion and place it over the clean glass slide. Afterwards, add 2 to 3 drops of saponin solution. Remove the excess of stain by adding water. Put cover slip over it and observe the onion cells under the microscope.
And your second activity is like this. With the help of clean earbud, scrape the inside of your cheek, place it on a glass slide and add a drop of iodine and add a drop of methylene blue solution and observe the cells with the help of microscope. Dear children, lastly, I am suggesting few questions to you for home assignment. I hope you will going to write answer to this question and submit to your teachers. Your first question is like this. Which organ helps in the absorption of minerals in case of the plants? And second question is like this. Name the vectors of heredity. And third question is, give an example of prokaryotic organisms. And fourth question is, name the cell organelle that take part in the process of photosynthesis in case of the plants. And last question is, list out the differences in plants and animal cells. Thank you children. Till now I am with you Mr. Shivram, assistant teacher, Government High School, Munyapundoddi, Chanpatna Taluk, Ramnagara district. Thank you one and all.